process of the Google mobility and COVID-19 datasets, analysis of the Google mobility and COVID-19 datasets of the United States, COVID-19 Google mobility analysis, the Google mobility and analysis of the Google mobility and COVID-19 data for USA. So to start the analysis process, at first we have to import important libraries. Okay, libraries, and the libraries are uh, basically before I'm just going to clear the list and I'm importing library called tidyverse, then lubricate, then reshape, lubricate, library, reshape, then library ggplot and dplyr, ggplot 2 and library dplyr, dplyr. These libraries are basically responsible for the manipulation of the data, the visualization of the basically the lubricate is responsible for the manipulation of the dates. Reshape is basically changing the shape of the data set, and Ediverse is has a many operations, and dplyr and ggplot are basically used for the manipulation and visualization. So after importing the data, the most important task is to importing the COVID-19 data set for the global COVID-19 data set. What is the COVID-19 data set? And I'm going to read that underscore CSV. Oh, sorry, I didn't run this chunk. I have to run this chunk at first. And I ran this chunk and read the CSV. I'm going to copy the link of the CSV file from the GitHub. I guess I already copied it. I'm going to copy this and paste it here inside the quotation marks. And I'm going to say it's named tabular data DB, and I'm going to see how the data frame looks like. So this is the data frame. Where is it? What's going wrong? I don't know what's going wrong. What is X here? Mm, there is a X in the date column. How it came? What is it? Is it the same data set? Global COVID-19 data set. Oh, sorry. Read underscore CSV. It was read as read.csv, so that's why I didn't didn't show up the actual form of the data because now, yeah, now it looks like the actual data set. Now I want to get an overall view of the structure of the data set. So I'm going to call it down as like getting overall view of the structure of the data set. So to get an overview of the data set of the structure, I'm going to do to sphere structure of the, I don't want to see all the rows, so I just want to see like all the rows of the first 10 columns, so of the data set, all the rows of the first 10 columns of the data set. And that is the thing, and how it looks like. Okay, the provinces with character and other columns are numerical, and I want to know how many columns are in the data set. Print paste there are length of, so this basically I'm going to find the length of row, and that will say there is how many columns in the data set. Length of the first row, 2 columns in the data set. Okay, it says there are 981 columns in the data set. Okay, fine. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select call from this column to all the column till the end, and I want to create a matrix with those columns, and I want to transport the matrix because I want the rows of columns to be the columns to be rows and the rows to be columns, so that I can assign the column names of the country region. So that I'm going to do in daily cases, columns of daily cases, and I'm going to take the tabular TB data set, and I'm going to select columns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from 5 to all the way to the last column. TB length of the first row. So I'm going to take the TB data set and select column all the way from the first column, and I'm going to uh, save it as matrix and I'm going to save the total output in a new data set called TB1, and the TB1 data set will be transposed. I'm going to transfer the TB1 data set because I want these uh, uh, columns to be turned into rows and the rows to be turned into columns, and I want to save the output as data frame. Data.frame frame, and I'm going to say it as TB1 as before. As before. So I basically did I took the all the rows from the first column, all the columns from first to the last, and say them as a matrix so that I can transpose this in later phase. And I transpose this and save the whole thing as a new data frame into TB1. I think there is a problem, I guess. Mhm. Here, yes. dot data dot frame. Mm, oh, okay. It's not showing me because I want to select column. So here I have to find the length of the column from fifth column to the last column. From so I want to select column from fifth column to the last column. So I want to know that I want to start from five and want to end at the end of the column. I think now it should show up. Yeah, the column showed up. Now I want to change the column names as the country names. So because these columns are basically the countries, the countries, and the row columns that were before basically turned into rows here. So assigning country names to the columns. Okay, fine. So I'm going to say like the names of the TV1 data frame will be equal to the country and region. Country and region, and I want to see uh, I want to see all the rows from the first to 10 columns. Okay. So this is the first 10 columns and all the rows below it. Now I'm going to select some target countries that I want to analyze, and my target countries are US and Bangladesh. Target countries. So I'm going to take the TV1 data frame and select using I'm going to take a uh, vector of countries, vector of column names. So how is called USA? Is it United States or USA in the main data set? Is basically US in the main data set. So I'm going to call it as US. And Bangladesh, and I'm going to set the name of the new data frame is TV2. I don't know the head of the TV2 data frame. So this is the head of the TVD data frame. As you have two countries, and I want to add a new date column to this new data set. So I'm for adding a date column. What I'm going to do, I want to know the names of the previously created TV data frame, and I want them as the current dates, and I want to change the date to the actual date object, and then I assign the date object to the date column in the newly created data set. So I'm going to take the names of the TV data frame and I want to select all the data frame. I'll select all the columns from first from fifth to last. One, two, three, four, from fifth to last. So we do the length of the all the columns from fifth five to the last length of say table data rows, name of the TV column, and I want to say that this is current date, and I want to say how the current dates look like. So these are all the current dates, and I want to change the current dates. Uh, these are the year, month, day, year. So I want to change the current date is to actual date object, and I want to assign the output to the into the newly created column in the TV2. So TV2 should have a column named date, and I want to uh, assign the output there, and I have to call the TV to say how the data frame looks like. So now the TV2 data frame has a date column. Now I want to change the row names of the data frame as the date object, as like the date object. So changing the row names. Of the data frame. So row dot name of the TV2 data frame will be equal to the date column of the TV2 data frame. TV2 and its date. So if I see the newly created data frame right now, I'll see that the date row, the row columns has already been changed to the newly created uh, row names. Now I want to see the most recent and the most farthest date of this data frame. So I want to print this because I want to put some comments strings in it. So the most farthest or start date is the most farthest start date is say maximum maximum of the TV2 date column. I guess this will work. Yeah, most farthest is means the most recent date. Sorry. Most farthest or recent date, and I want to know the most recent date. Sorry, most recent date. Start date. Uh, start date. Uh, end date. End date. Start and end date of the data frame. So I'm going to start date will be the minimum one, I guess. So the start date of the data frame is 2020 and the end date is 2022. Like, we have to put it in the right corner. how it looks like. Okay, the data from starts from 2021 February 2022 to the end of 2022 2024. And now I want to upload a time window. I want to basically plot all the US data uh, uh, over time. Uh, so this over time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plot the ggplot function, and the ggplot function, from the ggplot function, I will be assigning the data set. The data set is called TV2 dataset, and I will be assign the aesthetics like x, y, will be date, and y will be the first column of this data frame. That is TV2 and all the rows of the first column, and I will assign the geom point 12 and geom point and geom smooth to see how it looks like. So this is the uh, basically the overall US COVID-19 cases over 2 years of time span. So this will be the uh, uh, video of this lecture of this uh, coding process, and the later uh, coding process will be in the next part.